Warning. Anime Out of Context contains spoilers, explicit language, and general tomfoolery. Neither of our hosts are experts on any topic, and you should not take their opinions as such. Listen at your own discretion, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I pull Shaun out of a hat and ask, is this your weeb?
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Well, Remington, I'm not gonna laugh, but I will say you do bring a certain magic to my life.
Aw, how adorable. All right, so beyond all of this adorable bullshit, how are you gonna hurt me this week, Shaun?
You can't just assume I'm gonna hurt you every week, Remington.
It's a pretty safe assumption.
I mean, the last time I hurt you, it was with probably the most laid-back hurting I've ever done.
I guess.
It was just, underage idol girls exercising.
It was a big oof.
Yeah, it was more like than a big oof.
Well, are we back to normal length anime this week? Should be, I guess, my first question, since we've done 3-minute anime and then we wandered into 10-minute anime.
I don't know, Remington. Are you sure you're ready to get back into standard length anime?
I mean, if we could do like 2-second anime, that'd be ideal, but barring that.
I think those are just memes, Remington. Do you really want to just troll anime memes for the better part of an hour?
We have our Discord for that.
Which you're not a part of yet.
Well, I've been real bad about getting on the Discord, but let me just say, by the time the listeners hear this, I will be on the Discord.
I'm holding you to that, you son of a bitch.
We'll see.
And not to shill too early, but if you are interested in joining our Discord, keep an eye on our Twitter. We will be regularly posting links for people to just hop on and join.
I'm gonna be like the grandpa who doesn't know how things work when I get on Discord. I'll be like, oh my word, everybody is speaking to me. And
That's basically just you in regular life, though, Remington.
it is. Everyone is talking to me, and I'm super confused. And that's the Remington Chase story.
And the premise of our podcast, funnily enough.
It's true. I can't escape it.
So, yeah, just keep an eye on our Twitter if you want to join the random weebs and the random people who are confused by weebs. It's a very open and accepting place.
All right, but away from the shilling, what are you throwing me into?
Well, Remington, I figured I would still kind of ease you back into it because I feel like if I just threw you another standard length anime, you would be very traumatized.
I mean, I'll be traumatized either way, but I appreciate the sentiment.
You might be traumatized by this, but not for the reasons you think.
Oh, I don't know how to interpret that. There are a lot of reasons that I think.
So today, Remington, we're going to jump into a 15-minute anime.
Okay, a little longer. We're working our way up.
Yeah, so it's about a half-length show is what you could call it.
Yeah.
Because technically anime range between 22 and 25 minutes apiece,
Yeah.
not counting commercials and whatnot. So I'd call a 15 to 10-minute range to be about half-length.
All right, so we're doing a half-length anime, and what is it gonna be?
Well, Remington, I think you've seen this show before.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Have we done it on the podcast?
We have
before?
not.
Oh, wait a minute. And I've seen it?
I definitely think you have because,
Oh, my God.
Remington, we have friends who can't keep their fucking mouths shut.
Oh, I'm so tilted. I don't...
I know you've seen it because I was there when you saw it.
What?
But you only saw maybe one episode at most.
Did I? When was I watching anime outside the podcast?
If you've forgotten, that's fantastic. But as soon as I start
no.
describing things, you'll remember it immediately.
Oh, no.
Okay, so let's get from the basics. Remington, do you know what the company known as Sanrio is?
No idea.
Well, Remington, it's a very popular production company in Japan, usually for making cutesy anime things.
Okay, so from this, I am already going to guess that this isn't going to be your basic cutesy. This time they went out of the mold and did something crazy.
A little bit, but it's also kind of old-fashioned in a way.
Okay.
Remington,
Old-fashioned, not a good sign. Is it shonen?
No.
Thank God.
It's actually considered seinen of all things.
Okay, that's a bit better.
And honestly, Remington, you know about Sanrio. You've grown up with Sanrio.
Pardon me?
Yeah, even though you don't really know you've grown up with Sanrio.
This is like like you're being like, it was there all along, and then it flashbacks to a bunch of important moments in my life, and then just points to the background where Sanrio is just right there.
That's exactly it, yeah. You've grown up with it alongside you this whole time, especially our generation, and you haven't really realized it.
Oh, no.
And even today, you'll still occasionally see, hints of it here and there.
Oh. See, and if it was basic shonen that you were telling me, instead of like it tends to do cutesy stuff, then I would assume that it would be like one of the major shonen out there because those are the very popular ones. But I'm not.
No, this was a thing before you even understood what anime was, Remington.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I think I got it.
All right.
I think I have it in my mind.
What's in your mind, Remington?
All right, so you say that it's some super cutesy weeby bullshit, right?
Okay.
And it's been a part of all of our lives, especially this generation's, and there is one Japanese icon who exists that did exist before I knew what anime was, and indeed was just a cute little figure. And so I believe that that is what this company did. Is it Hello Kitty?
You are correct, Remington.
I am so good at this game. All of my predictions are right, except all of the ones that were horribly wrong.
You mean all of them except for this one?
Yeah.
All of your predictions have been basically off the mark this
All
whole
of my
time.
predictions in this episode are amazing.
You've made one!
Exactly.
But yeah, Remington, Sanrio is the company that created and produced Hello Kitty and all of these spin-offs from that brand.
Okay, I assume we're not going to watch one of the Hello Kitty or spin-offs today.
Well, technically we are, but technically no. I would never...
But of course.
I don't think I'd ever put you through Hello Kitty because anything Hello Kitty and anime related is just too kitty to be worth watching, as well as just not very good.
Oh yeah, because quality has stopped us before.
I've shown you some masterpieces and you've thrown them in the dirt, you piece of shit.
Then they weren't masterpieces.
You're the only person that thinks that, Remington. I can confirm this. You and all the other hipsters out there.
I'm not a hipster. I'm just an anti-weeb. There's a difference.
An anti-weeb hipster.
You see, you are the hipster weeb, but we've already discussed and had this argument on a separate episode.
I still heavily disagree, but that's fine. So, Remington, I don't know what you know about Sanrio, but you know about Hello Kitty. Are you aware that there are at least, I'd say, bare minimum of 50 different Sanrio-style characters?
Oh god, it's just Gundam all over again.
Yeah, actually. So, you look at Gundam and you think it's a bunch of cool mechs with product placement in mind. You think, oh man, I can buy this toy or I can get Gundam
It really
merch.
is just a one-to-one relationship.
It is,
here.
actually, because whereas you got the cool badass mecha shonen stuff, this is the opposite side. This is more the cutesy shoujo, cartoony animal creatures.
I'll be honest, I have more of a chance of liking this than Gundam.
Honestly, Remington, I think you'll really enjoy this show, and if you don't, it'll just be kind of sad because I went out of my way to find something nice and cute for you.
Okay, I do like nice and cute. With Hello Kitty, or similar stylings, I'm hoping to get adorable animals, and although Hello Kitty has never been super adorable for me, maybe one of the spin-offs will be.
I think these characters are super adorable. Even the ones that aren't meant to be adorable have their own kind of adorable flavor to them, which is nice.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
And they are all animal-based. Sanrio doesn't really do humanoid things. They will anthropomorphize just about anything, but actual humans, they dip into it occasionally, but it's not really anything worth mentioning, quite frankly.
Non-human animals are better animals than us, so I support it.
Mm-hmm. So you've basically got worlds with a bunch of anthropomorphic animals walking around and doing things that normal humans would do.
Okay, and which world are we jumping into today?
Oh, just modern Japan.
Okay, it's just gonna be it's the BoJack Horseman of shoujo bullshit. It's just going to be completely modern, normal life, but cute animals, and that's it.
Actually, you're not too far off. Just add that anime flavor, make everything extra cutesy, and we get today's show.
Hello, Horseman. Perfect.
Today's show, Remington, is a show called Aggretsuko or Aggretsuko.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't this, hold on, buffering. Okay, this is the one on Netflix about
Yes.
like fox or a red panda or
Red
something.
panda.
Yeah, red panda, who she's like super cute, but she also does like heavy metal bullshit or something like that.
You are pretty spot on.
Yeah, okay. There was an episode of this in the background one time that we were hanging out with friends. I do recall.
Yes, because he really wanted to show everybody because he couldn't hold it back because he is the biggest metalhead we know.
I don't really remember much of it because other stuff was going on, but I do know that it exists. It's on Netflix, so I always assumed that it was pseudo anime. Is it pseudo anime?
Nope, it's purebred anime.
Oh man,
Just because it's on Netflix doesn't mean that it's not anime.
I'm
Remington.
aware, but I just made the assumption.
We watched
it felt,
Death Note on
It
Netflix.
felt really Western though. It felt like almost a parody of anime from a Western perspective from the brief glimpse I saw. So that's why I had that latent assumption.
Well, it is anime through and through. It is set in Japan. It is made by a Japanese company, Sanrio. The actual studio that animated it did some other things, but they're not really worth mentioning, unfortunately. I looked into it, and they just don't have anything good.
They don't have any nice Windows commercials or anything?
No, nothing like that. It's like all in that weird niche of just being kind of bad and not anything really worth memeing kind of bad.
Oh, lovely. All
Yeah.
right.
But Sanrio, long history of productions and such, so I figured this would be a fun thing to jump into, and it's kind of a step up from what we did last week, because if you think about it, what's a step up from retail but equally soul-crushing? Working in an office.
As someone who has done both, yes.
Exactly. So not only am I giving you a a light baby step from 10-minute anime before we get to standard, but I'm also giving you a step up from retail up to working in an office.
I feel like this show is the kind of show with a strong cult following, but I also feel like it's one of those where most people are going to think that it's okay plus. A subsection of people are going to adore it, and then a subsection of people are going to be meh.
It's gonna be a bit more of the first two, and there's a couple who are just kind of meh about it. But honestly, I think it's a really charming show with a lot of pretty fun characters and relatable moments that kind of make you a little frustrated, but it's not anything you haven't seen before, per se. Just with that cute anime flavoring, as well as some pretty amusing moments, honestly.
All right, I'm sold.
Perfect. That's all I needed to say. I guess we can just go in, but I haven't actually told you what it is, though, have I?
Oh, I guess not.
Yeah, gotta keep you at least somewhat updated. Essentially, Remington, the premise of Aggretsuko is about Retsuko, who is a red panda, a 25-year-old office clerk who works in an accounting firm. But the thing is Retsuko is kind of an awkward introvert to a massive degree, and deals with a lot of the stereotypical bullshit you have to deal with in office environments. Horrible bosses, random acts of sexism, just mountains upon mountains of paperwork, people just expecting you to do a whole lot of extra crap even though they're the ones not doing their work. You know, those stereotypical nasty office experiences.
Yeah.
Which we've all had if you've ever worked in an office. To varying degrees, of course, but of course it's animation, so it takes things to the extreme. And Retsuko's primary way of letting off some steam, getting some of the pent-up emotions out without, causing any direct harm to her job or to her surroundings, is to go to karaoke and just scream death metal.
Okay, so it's just karaoke.
Mhm.
I thought there was like a band or something. Does there become a band?
No.
It's just karaoke.
Yeah, no. Death
Oh,
metal is
okay.
just her coping mechanism and her favorite type of music.
Oh, okay.
So you can see why our heavy metal friend is a big fan of it, because
Oh, yeah.
he basically is just the big hairy version of Retsuko.
Pretty accurate. Yep.
And that's what this show is it's just kind of a slice of life comedy with a cute flavor and just some really relatable situations and characters when it comes to trying to come up in an office environment and try to be an adult in a career working scenario.
Well, let's hope that it can sway me.
Well, I think you'll enjoy it well enough, but it might not be the greatest thing for you. Personally, I think it's cute, I think it's fun, and I just love the idea of a cutesy red panda screaming death metal at people.
It's a good concept, but as I've said before with some other anime, I'm worried that the premise is all there is. I'm hoping to see substance beyond premise, because the premise is a fun, silly one and one that people would love to talk about. but is it one that people would actually watch? And we will see about that.
I think there is. There is definitely some substance to it. But ultimately, I suppose that'll be for you to decide and for you to hurt the weebs. And before we start, Remington, I will say we did get quite a few recommendations for it.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, both on our Discord as well as on our editor just sent me a message asking me a very strange question.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
The editor recently sent me a message to send him a picture of my naked legs.
Yeah, he posted a screenshot of that in the Discord.
Has he no dignity?
No! Have you met the man?
How many of my conversations are getting posted on the Discord, Shaun?
So far, that's the only one.
Is this what happens when I'm not on it?
Apparently, if you're not around, people are going to start throwing shit at you, which they do quite frequently. And these 5 people, but not just these 5 people, but these are the first 5 I'm coming across, recommended this to us. So thank you very much, G, Elias, Lee, Tori, and Hugh. It's very kind of you that you're trying to be nice to Remington for once, as unlike some other people who really want you to burn and die.
We appreciate all of the kind recommendations. If you recommended it but weren't listed because Shaun is too incompetent to look, yell at him on the Discord. He loves it.
And just because I'm lazy does not mean you can have the right to give me shit, Remington.
I think that's exactly what it means.
Says the man who's too lazy to actually get on the Discord.
Psh, details, semantics.
Mm-hmm. All right, and with that, Remington, let's go watch some Aggretsuko. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after consuming 5 whole episodes of Aggretsuko. And Remington, you seem like you could use a bit more protein in your diet.
Protein.
Protein?
Protein.
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 Protein. I'm glad we've agreed, and that's our show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. But no, actually, Remington, what are your thoughts on Aggretsuko? It's kind of a cute little show, but it's not exactly going to, make or break your love of anime, is it?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think I hit it pretty well on it's going to have a strong cult following, and to everyone else it'll be like, yeah, that's pretty good. And that's where it lies for me. So
You don't have anything more detailed to get into other than that?
I mean, I have quite a few notes, but overall, that's where I'm at with this show.
So that's a pretty acceptable place, because honestly, Rem, that's kind of where I'm at with this show.
Yeah.
Yet, I have friends, and I know several people who will swear that this show is one of the greatest, most relatable things on the face of the planet. And in a lot of ways, it is really relatable.
It reminds me a lot of, there's a very popular indie game, I think it came out last year or the year before, somewhere around there, called Night in the Woods. It's about a little cat girl, right? And
I didn't know you were into cat girls.
Oh God, I already regret this conversation.
That's canon now, bitch.
Oh no. and so Night in the Woods, it's a video game that has a lot of the same themes and ideas. It's very relatable and quirky, though I feel like it had a lot of the same flaws. Namely, I thought that at times it felt like it was a little bit too quirky, veering into like lol random territory at times. And not a lot, but there were definitely moments where it was pushing that line a little bit much, where it wanted to be that just Tumblr charming or that Hot Topic charming. And
Hot Topic is charming?
You know the branding that I'm talking about, surely.
I've dated that branding. It's not a good look.
And so it's not that that's what this show was, but it did get dangerously close at times.
Okay, that's a very fair assessment. Because, Remington, this show is obviously a good source for internet reactions and memes and things like that, and just the general cute publicity of it gets a lot of people. There is so much Aggretsuko merch out there right now.
Which doesn't surprise. I mean, it's from one of the great kings of merch anime.
Yep.
So you would expect there to be merch and it to sell.
And this is the first time they've really delved into something that was a bit more on the adult side of things while still maintaining their super cutesy style to it.
And I think they had a very strong blend of it. I mentioned this before, but I'm going to double down. It really does feel in a lot of ways like BoJack Horseman meets Hello Kitty. Like 100%.
Yeah, just not as depressing as BoJack Horseman.
Well, yeah, that's why you get the Hello Kitty. Unless Hello Kitty, I'll admit, I've not seen it. Maybe they also talk about depression and mental illness. Maybe Hello Kitty also has a crippling alcohol problem. I don't know. I've not seen it.
I know I do.
That's just your Irish blood. It's default.
Yeah, no, it comes with the territory. You get used to it. And look on the bright side. After a while, you just have all these sad emotions, and then one day you'll die.
Oh, can't wait.
John Mulaney's a great comedian.
But overall, I think that it does a pretty good job of being quite charming, of capturing the emotional truth of a lot of everyday struggles that people go through. Whether you are in this type of setting or not, you will, by all accounts, relate to a lot of the different characters.
Often you'll relate to just about every character, just with different aspects of each. And there are some characters that you won't really relate to at all, but you know exactly what those characters are making fun of and portraying. We all have those nasty bosses, and we all have those really obnoxious kiss-ass coworkers, and it gets a little too real for time to time, I've noticed.
I also thought it was a great metaphor for the current presidency. I think the boss character is a great stand-in for our current boss character in a lot of ways. And what I'm saying, of course, I'm not talking about how he's horribly incompetent. He plays golf all the time instead of working. He has a bunch of yes men affirming these tendencies. None of that. None of that.
No, of course not.
I'm just talking about that he's built a very successful business, and he's willing to be firm on the matter. That's the only parallels I wish to draw to our presidency. I want to make that clear. I would never demean our current president.
Absolutely not. Because that would just be un-American, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would be unpatriotic. I love America, so I love everything about America. That's how that has to work, apparently, or so I am told. And so I certainly wouldn't in any way demean the president. Those are not the comparisons that I personally would make. Though perhaps others might make them.
And you're just expounding on this, especially so that the NRA are... Wait, the NRA? What am I saying?
I mean, maybe also.
I mean, you are named after rifles, so it does make some sense.
Does that give me immunity? Am I safe?
I don't know, honestly. We'll have to look into that. But the NSA, per se...
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the FBI,
Very different.
Very different. Well...
You'd hope.
I hope so. I mean, they might shoot your jaw. Or was that the other? I don't know. Politics aren't my strong point. I know anime.
Well, here I'll give an anime comparison instead of a political comparison.
Okay.
So Aggretsuko is just Mob Psycho count to 10. That's that's what this show and our main character is. That's what it amounts to.
Oh my! What the fuck do you mean by that, Remington?
It doesn't quite reach 100. It happens more often, but it's also less extreme. So instead of reaching 100 and going crazy badass superpowers, you get to 10 and you scream heavy metal about your problems, and that's how that goes.
So what you're saying is Retsuko is just having issues with emotions and is letting them out in a healthiest way possible for her, but it's not the healthiest way.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I think that's a surprisingly apt comparison. And so, I've compared it to a few things. Take whatever analogy you want from me. Just smush them all together, whatever ones are relevant to you.
Okay, that makes sense. Honestly, Remington, you kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. Because both Mob Psycho and Aggretsuko talk about the whole idea of emotions and keeping them under control versus your public situation and how you should handle them. Whereas Aggretsuko is a little bit more slice of life, focused on, actual real life scenarios and coping mechanisms that may or may not be healthy. It depends on your point of view. Whereas Mob Psycho is a bit more complicated.
Yeah, but with both of them, I wanted to like them a bit more than I did. I didn't dislike either of them, but I didn't love either of them either.
We might have to come back to both of them, and I can almost guarantee you we'll probably do another Mob Psycho episode because I love that show to death, and fuck you, Remington, it's amazing.
It's okay.
Oh. One day, Remington, I'll have an episode ready, and we'll talk about it. You'll be like, yeah, this is great. This is the best thing ever. And there will be no controversy whatsoever.
I mean, it's happened before. It theoretically can happen again.
And this episode was not controversial until you said that statement. Because we are very straight-laced about how we feel about our current political situation, as it were.
Well, let me sing some praises.
Okay.
I think that the reactions, especially the facial expressions from every single character, is absolutely top notch. I think stylistically, those facial expressions are possibly the strongest element of the animation and art style. Maybe even the best part of the show, frankly.
I would
is
say
the
so.
facial expressions, because they nail that.
It's
They're
reaction.
great.
It's reaction-based comedy, so you kind of have to have those heavy, over-the-top reactions, or else it's not going to hit as hard.
Oh yeah, and the very simple, minimalistic, super cutesy style definitely leans in towards that. You capture a whole lot with a whole little, and they do it very well. I also think that there were some very entertaining moments. Like, I think, even though I think that at times they did tend to go a little bit too quirky for their own good, where it started to slightly detract from it, a lot of the characters had great moments. Protein, anytime Fenico. Yeah, the Fennekin Fox.
Yeah.
Anytime Fenico laughed was amazing. The single best part and my favorite bits were anytime Fenico laughed.
Fenico's my favorite character of the whole show, so...
It was great. She just has this like super monotone, very mocking style laugh that I adored. I was all in on that.
It fits her character to a T, which is great.
Yeah, she's just like your friendly bitch. That's who she is.
That's how I think of you sometimes, Remington.
I am Fenico. I'm just...
Oh, excuse me, I'm laughing with too much emotion. Ha 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 ha.
And so she was possibly my favorite character, though every character was pretty solid. I didn't really care about the hyena at all, like positive or negative. They were just there.
Yeah.
And they were fine. They didn't diminish anything.
I think he's a pretty good straight character, and obviously he's got that massive crush on Retsuko, which is a thing. And apparently it does come up more in the second season, but I'm not finished with the second season, so...
Yeah, I've just found him to be less interesting than the others, which is unfortunate because, as you said, he does sort of play that straight man role in comedy where all this absurdity and huge characters are happening around him, and he's a pretty average dude. But I feel like there are better ways to handle a straight man character, and I don't think that they handled it the best way that they could. Because instead of just a straight man character, they just did a relatively bland character, which is often confused for one another, but should not be the case, and unfortunately was the case. I think that's one of the only true character failings. I think everyone else has a very vivacious character who is pretty interesting, and once again, although they tend to be a little too quirky at times, overall, the vast majority of characterization was very strong and very successful.
Which is arguably the point, Rem. They're supposed to be very obvious characters with very stereotypical baselines so that you can kind of relate to them as their specific roles in friendships as well as in a corporate scenario. Because ultimately, this is a very blunt way of saying, hey, if this shit is happening at your workplace, it's not good.
Yeah, and so I think it has a lot of good qualities. A lot of good qualities about the show, but it didn't hit that niche for me. I didn't find it charming or funny enough to fall in love. I thought it had those qualities, but that it missed the mark for me personally.
Okay, that's a very fair assessment. And who knows, maybe if you watch the rest of the series, it might change, or it might just leave you at exactly the same. I don't know, I'm like 13 episodes in, and there's only 20 episodes to the series right now. The second season just barely came out. So as far as I can tell, it's it's pretty right and pretty streamlined. The relatable stuff hits me pretty hard occasionally because, let's just say the work-related stuff kind of is a little too relatable from time to time.
See, maybe you should just follow the cat's advice and leave.
Even though the cat ultimately would have caused
Hey, don't
whole lot
ruin
of
it
problems.
with your details and semantics.
semantics and details are all I've got, Remington. It's my only defense against your inane bullshit. Mr. I spend my time donating fluids to get money.
Just add a sexy backing track.
Oh, God. Hopefully people will realize you're talking about
Hey, you don't know me. You don't know my story.
I know just about everything about you, Remington. I've known you for that long.
I'll donate every fluid imaginable. I don't give a fuck.
As long as they pay you.
Yeah, as long as I get money. Hey, podcast listener.
Oh, thank God none of them know where we live, or else we'd have some really creepy people knocking on our doorstep.
that'd be an oof. For every reason imaginable, I should specify that was a joke. Don't come emailing us about my bodily fluids and how you can purchase them, unless you have a really high offer, and then then we might be in negotiation.
Well, we'll set up like a My Free Cams thing for you. That's what they do on that site, right?
Yeah, I'll say my price is high, but there is a price. It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
I'll just ask what she paid.
Yeah, I mean, how else would I get a girlfriend? They just buy me.
Yeah. You're pretty cheap. It's fine. I've been buying you for years.
How else would I be doing this podcast that hurts me so deeply?
It helps you don't have a car.
Yeah, so I'm actually stuck here.
Yep. I keep you in the basement.
For all of our listeners, I don't leave the studio. I'm stuck in the studio forever. He just visits me once a week to record. And unfortunately, that's the only time I get to watch anything. And it's anime, so it's rough. There's like Stockholm Syndrome going on.
Yeah, it's because you love me so much.
Maybe it'll start setting in properly. We'll see.
Yeah, and I don't keep you here all the time. Occasionally, I drop you off to donate fluids.
Yeah, there you go. The only events in my week are watching anime and donating fluids.
Oof.
What a life.
Oh, man. But do you have any other thoughts on Aggretsuko? Were there any other characters that really stood out to you as just being adorable or frustrating or too real?
I think all of the other characters were good. However, I don't think any of them are super stupendous characters besides the ones we've talked about already, in my opinion, as of yet. I think all of them are solid. However, I'm going to mostly forget all of them. I will remember their quirks, but I won't really remember them in a stronger reference than watching the show itself. Ultimately, I think that Aggretsuko is fittingly on Netflix because it seems like a perfectly fine show to binge on 1.5 times speed, and that's probably how I would consume it. I would just do it all in one dose, a little bit faster, and then it would be over, and then I wouldn't think about it too much.
Even though you don't really consume media on your own, and I usually have to shove it down your fucking
Yeah, no,
throat.
I mean, in this hypothetical world where I actually do watch it.
Yeah, because when was the last time you just watched a show of your own volition? Because usually you pick like a random-ass documentary or a random-ass bad horror movie, watch that, and forget about it the next day.
Yeah, that is 90% of the media I consume. I don't know. TV and just like series aren't really my style. There's just too much.
Ugh.
There's too much.
Damn it, you're a full-blooded American. You should know how to binge a show and not complain about it.
I need to get better, apparently. I need to get better with Netflix. I need to get better with Discord. I need to get better at a lot of things.
Which is why I'm trying to shove so much down your throat all at once.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you learn that binging is just the natural, healthy cycle of consuming media.
Do I get a wait? Do I get a binge and purge weeb shit? When do I get to purge the weeb shit?
Oh, it's when you do it every year. WrestleMania, man.
WrestleMania is me purging the weeb shit. Perfect. The one time of year I properly watch wrestling. That's when it all gets out. Shaun, one day we'll just have a spin-off. WWE will be our favorite anime. I'll just teach you about it,
I mean,
and pretend that I'm an expert, and we'll just exchange roles. It'll be great.
I gotta say, pretending to be an expert is a fun experience. Because as long as you have a disclaimer at the front of your show saying, hey, these guys aren't experts, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
There we go. Wrestling out of context. Like, expect that early next year, folks. It's definitely gonna happen. Don't take our word for that.
No. We have so many spin-off projects in mind, and if any of them ever happen, you'll be the first to know, but...
we have enough weeb shit on our plate. It'd be difficult to add more.
Yeah... Like, and God knows the religion out of context might have a bit of a controversial take, as it were.
Yeah. Oh, two sincere spin-off ideas that we have discussed that are terrible ideas.
But wouldn't they be amazing?
Just peeling back the curtain a bit there.
Yeah, just open the kimono, as it were.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Remington. I suppose that should do it. I have to ask one last time. Would you like to go watch some Aggretsuko with us? With us? There's more of us now.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God, we are legion.
Oh, no. I knew weebs were a hive mind.
We kind of are. It's really sad. But let me try that one more time. Do you want to go watch some more Aggretsuko with me?
Yeah, sure. Maybe a little bit.
All right, cool enough. Cool. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed our random expounding on existential crises, I know how to speak.
Existential crises.
It's okay, he'll edit that out, I'm sure.
All right, we'll try again. Round 2.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed our heavy discussions on existential crises, as well as the cuteness of red pandas, then please leave a review on whatever platform you listen on, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, or if you want to help us grow, word of mouth is the best way to do it, and we will be dropping more links to our Discord on our Twitter, so keep an eye out for that.
And if you would like to contact us directly, whether it is for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, then you can either tweet us at animeoutofcontext. Fuck!
Yeah, see, it's not that easy, is it, fucker?
All right, round 2. And if you would like to contact us directly, whether it is for a comment, question, feedback, or a recommendation, then you can either tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or you can send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, don't fuck your sister.
Ba-da-da-da.